Tax scope and rate. Article 2. Scope of tax. Tax shall be imposed on every taxable supply and deemed supply made by the taxable person. Import of concerned goods except as specified in the executive regulation of this decree law. Tax rate. Article 3. Without prejudice to the provisions of Title 6 of this decree law, a standard rate of 5% shall be imposed on any supply or import pursuant to Article 2 of this decree law on the value of the supply or import specified in the provisions of this decree law. Responsibility for tax. Article 4. The tax imposed shall be the responsibility of the following: a taxable person who makes any supply stipulated in Clause 1 of Article 2 of this decree law, the importer of concerned goods, the registrant who acquires goods as stated in Clause 3 of Article 48 of this decree law. Supply of goods and services. Article 5. Supply of goods. The following shall be considered a supply of goods: transfer of ownership of the goods or the right to use them to another person according to what is specified in the executive regulation of this decree law. Entry into a contract between two parties entailing the transfer of goods at a later time, pursuant to the conditions specified in the executive regulation of this decree law. Supply of services. Article 6. A supply of services shall be every supply that is not considered a supply of goods, including any provision of services specified in the executive regulation of this decree law. Supply in special cases. Article 7. As an exception to what is stated in Articles 5 and 6 of this decree law, the following shall not be considered a supply. 1. The sale or issuance of any voucher unless the received consideration exceeds its advertised monetary value, as specified in the executive regulation of this decree law. 2. The transfer of whole or an independent part of a business from a person to a taxable person for the purposes of continuing the business that was transferred. Supply of more than one component. Article 8. The executive regulation of this decree law shall specify the conditions for treating a supply made of more than one component for one price, whether such components are goods or services or both. Supply via agent. Article 9. 1. The supply of goods and services through an agent acting in the name of and on behalf of a principal is considered to be a supply by the principal and for his benefit. 2. The supply of goods and services through an agent acting in his name is considered to be a direct supply by the agent and for his benefit. Supply by government entities. Article 10. 1. A government entity is regarded as making a supply in the course of business in the following cases. A. If its activities are conducted in a non-sovereign capacity. B. If its activities are in competition with the private sector. 2. A cabinet decision shall be issued at the suggestion of the minister determining the government entities and their activities that are considered as conducted in a sovereign capacity in instances where its activities are considered not in competition with the private sector.